which of course I have mislaid because I have so much stuff. Oh man, guys, you would not believe the amount of stuff I have out and about. Oot in the boot. I have totally mislaid my bone folder. I just had it. I just had my bone folder. I wonder if I dropped it. As normal, I'm working on the edge of my bed. I'm risking popping more springs in this mattress. Yes, I have done that once. Okay. Ooh, and I can feel I have overhang. Okay. So let me get out my scissors. And I will trim off this bigger overhang. Simply because I don't want to be messing with it. It's still overhanging. It is still overhanging. Oh man. Okay. I'm going to have to take some baby powder to it after I get it stuck down. Okay. So let me line this up the way I want it in here. All right. Let me line this up. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? Probably not. Okay. I'm going to hope my darndest that this is straight.
970 is still en route, correct? Citizens said they called and told to cancel the ambulance, but it is still needed. I spoke with a citizen who had a 911 hang up. He said there were units on scene. We do have 970 en route.
Okay, here we go. Okay, let me pull this up. Did you ever have one of those days, guys, where nothing in the world is going right? Okay, here we go. Now let's try this again. I'm going to loosen up one side, or my two ends. I'm just going to loosen them up a little bit, just so I can get this to stick down proper. Hopefully you guys can see. And hopefully you'll be able to see that I am putting this on straight. Got to look over the top of my edge. I don't know. That doesn't look very straight to me. But we're going to give it a go. Hey, Joe. You want to give it a go? Coochie, coochie, aye, 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 aye. You know, I had my thing, my bone folder, and I have no idea where I put it. I just had it. I just had it. Okay. Now I'm going to peel these 4 strips off here. If I had done this back sheet this way, I think I'd have less problems. Nope, that's not it. Okay, and then this last sheet here. Oh, and look, you can still see that that's where the problem was. It makes it look like I've got a center seam there, but I do not. Okay, so this page is done. Okay, so you can see that these all flip up. I'm not concerned if they don't line up pretty, because really I don't care. Okay, and then that gives me extra space for Thursdays, because what was happening was Thursdays I had no space. All I had was the one sheet And so I'd end up squishing everything down towards the bottom. So we will give this a try and see how this works out for me. A new garbage container. I like saving these old Pringle containers. My daughter gets me these little tiny individual servings. They're made for going into lunches. And I save those and use those as my trash cans. Okay. So then down here I can have my list for my weather, because I do that once a week. On Fridays I write down the week's forecast. All right, the week's forecast. And then I'll write a list of whatever canning I have done. And yeah, so this is going to work out pretty good this way. In fact, let me pull over that other week. I'll do that one off. Yeah, this is going to have to be split into at least two. So, okay. All right, and you can see these don't line up the prettiest when they get done, but, you know, I don't care. Okay. And then if I have to, I have extra room here. But I'll put things on here like what we had for dinner, what happened that day, what I've been doing during the week, etc., etc., etc. Okay, guys, that is it. Oh, I was going to talk about this one. Okay. This one's going to be hard because I don't know if you guys can see. I have invisible tape on here. All right. What I do is I figure out which side is going to be the side along the outside edge. Okay. Because this edge I'm not so worried about. This is the edge that I want to keep straight. So if this were going on this side, I'd be concerned about this edge. Okay. So, what I do is I line them up over here, and you can see I don't know if you guys can see, I have my tape marking where the bottom edge of the full sheet is, okay, and that was so that I could line them up for when I was doing them this way. I may have to redo that shape because now I only need it to come up to here. Okay, so let me move that. Let me move this. Oh, and that's going to put it right over that hole. That puts it over my hanging hole. Okay, so let me put this there. And I will move this up here. And that's just a reference guide. So that when I am doing my sheets and I go to line them up, I know how far down I need to come. So this is where my first piece of paper goes. Then I put the other sheets of paper on there and I kind of try to line them up so that they're equidistant. This time I want to say they're about 1/4 of an inch, but I can see some of them are a little bit bigger. All right. And then I very carefully, because I make sure they're all lined up on that edge, or in this case, I should have lined them up on that edge, and you can see I am way off. I'm going to have to cut this one to even it out. Okay. And then I very carefully pick it up and flip it over, being careful not to move anything. And then I'll place on my tape. All right. I used to do it where the first one would go down and I would have the tape on there, and then I'd line them up and then I'd press them down and line them up and press them down. But then I found if I had to rearrange, it was a bit of a pain in the rumpus room. So I carefully pick them up, flip them over, tape them down. And it only has to be a couple of strips. You can use Scotch tape, you can use, or any adhesive tape. You can use washi tape. If you're very confident, you can use the double stick tape. That's one the step you're going to have to do later on. But yeah, I have had it happen where I've done it this way and then later on discovered, to my horror, and I mean horror, that I was off by just a smidge. Okay. So you guys get to watch me trim this one down. Alright. The secret is a sharp blade. This is not a sharp blade. In fact, if I remember correctly, I wound up having to switch blades last night. Okay, and B is lots of little passes, light strokes. Okay. You want the light cuts to go through because you're cutting it in layers and you want the layers to match up. If you cut too hard, too fast, that's when you're going to end up making boo-boos. Okay, come on, get out of there. All right, and then I'm going to do one last pass through just to make sure. All right. Now this one's going to be a little bit shorter than the other one, a little bit narrower. It's not going to be quite as wide, but you know, that's just a itty bitty thing in my mind. What did I just do with that? I just had the garbage. Oh man, guys, I am losing my mind today. I really am. Here, I'll put it in this one. You can see I use them until they get full and overfull. I mean, I just use these puppies for garbage cans. I really do. And I very much appreciate my daughter doing that for me. All right. Cool. Look at that. That one's done. We can put that one on this one. Now, you can see I've already got the month done. All right. Now, the one thing that I found that I did this month, which I can't believe I did, and I could just kick myself in the hiney for it. I found I had forgotten to clip these shut. How's that for a good swift kick in the pants? Okay. So now, let's see. Ooh, that's a big... See that big difference? That's a big difference. What am I gonna do? I wanna walk like you, talk like you, woo, 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 woo. Okay. So let's count and see how many weeks we have. 1, I already did, that's last week's. 2, that's this week's. 3, 4. Oh, I only got 4 for this month. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, and then next week's will be the last one. 4. Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, that works. See, and if I wanted to, if I goof up again, I can always put this down here on the bottom, and then that leaves that whole top part open for writing on for my weather and whatever. But I want to start with this up here on the top, just to see if I liked it or not. And you know, now that I am looking at it, I am thinking I'm probably, you know, I'm going to do this one off. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Remember, this is 2 parts.